We're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Kentucky's. Wrong thing. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Homestead HQ, right?
Yeah.
Where we talk about homesteading and preparedness. And we are live tonight. This is Shelly.
And I'm Jason. And guys, Shelly texted me and she's like, what if we do a live podcast tonight? I was like, heck, I'm game for it. Let's go. Yeah. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the conundrum going on in Ukraine, Russia, the quagmire crap over there. That's going to be the main topic, but kind of let's run over some other stuff that we kind of been doing. But first, let's do shout to our sponsors. Guys, go check out vac-masterfresh.com. Use the coupon code HOMESTEAD to get 15% off your order for your chamber sealers, your butchering knives, stuff like that. I actually used mine this afternoon. I had to seal some stuff up. So I ran down here to the shop, sealed everything up, stuck it in the freezer. So it's not something that you're going to use, once a week or anything like that. I use mine probably 3 times a week, something like that. So check those guys out. It's vac-masterfresh.com. Use the code HOMESTEAD to get 15% off. Our other sponsor that brings you the show is Signature Solar. It's signaturesolar.com. Go check those guys out. They've got some great prices on solar equipment, batteries, solar panels, chargers, solar generators. I've got a video going to come out pretty soon with a solar generator that they sent me that I used over in East Tennessee, West North Carolina when I was over there with Grindstone. Use the code HOMESTEAD. That'll save you some money on your order and help us out just a little bit. So, Shelly, have you gotten anything done since the last time we talked? I know I haven't done anything at the homestead, really.
Yeah, I haven't either. We've got, we've been working because it's only been a couple days since we did the last video.
Yeah. And Forrest is here. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Forrest.
But it's only been a couple days since we did the last one. So I've been. Have you done anything though? Not really.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I hadn't done that much. Lincoln rode his 4-wheeler this afternoon. Of course, it was muddy, and I was like, "You have to strip down to your underwear before you come in the house." He's like, "I'm covered in mud." I was like, "Yes, you are. That's why you're stripping down." He's like, "Okay." So he stripped down on the front porch. And I'm like, "Go straight to the shower and don't stop, go. Don't collect $200, anything like that." But today I had fun. I was replacing hardwood, finished in place hardwood on a job, and then I had to stain to match it. And the sun was shining on me today because the stain matched, and I was like, "Man, you can't beat this." So you couldn't tell that. But that's all I've really been doing is working, trying to get ready for Thanksgiving and all that good stuff. So, because that's right around the corner.
Next week, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking forward to it, but I get to see all my kiddos, or almost all my kiddos.
Well, there's an aluminum smelting plant in Franklin, and they contacted me. They're like, "We're going to shut down the week of Thanksgiving. Can you come do some epoxy work for us?" And I was like, "Yes, but I'm not working on Thanksgiving Day." And they're like, "That's fine." So we've got one of these rush jobs to do an epoxy floor for this factory in Franklin starting on Monday, and try to get it done while they're shut down. So there's nothing like trying to swoop in and get stuff done under the deadline. But have you got a news article for us other than all the crap that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, I don't have an article. It's actually some TikToks that I saw, and take TikTok for whatever, but I can't really make this make sense. So
I will help you.
Okay. So that seed oils aren't good for you, right? Like everybody knows that, right? You shouldn't be you're better off with like coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, animal fats, that kind of thing. They're just healthier. And seed oils, like canola oil and vegetable oil and all that stuff, they're finding that there's a lot of trans fats. They're just not good for you and all of that. So Trump nominated RFK Robert Kennedy, to be the Health and Human Services Director, right?
Yeah.
And good evening, Bill. Hey. So Kennedy has been saying you shouldn't eat seed oils. They're not good for you. They're not healthy. And there's all this research behind it and everything. But on TikTok, there are libs that are so mad about, they're just angry about the turnout of the election and all that kind of stuff. And now they're angry about all these people that are being appointed to, Trump's cabinet and all that kind of thing. I saw videos of libs pouring like canola oil and all that stuff into glasses and drinking it and telling RFK to just F off because he can't tell them what to do.
Jeez.
Make that make sense to me. My friend at work said that maybe he should tell people not to consume bleach. Maybe that will eliminate some of the problem. I don't know. And I'm not saying I'm not condoning that. We don't condone violence here or whatever, but make that make sense to me, Jason.
Well, it's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah, Lawrence is like, drink up,
right?
I mean, well, honestly, it's the same thing as why they're shaving their heads and saying they're not going to have sex for 4 years and divorce your Trump supporting husband and stuff like that. I mean,
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, like I saw a thing. It's rapeseed oil, but they renamed it. I forgot what it comes from, but it's rapeseed oil is what it is, and they used it for a lubricant.
Rapeseed oil?
No, rapeseed oil.
Why is it called rapeseed oil?
That's the little seed.
It's called a rapeseed?
Not RAPE, but it's spelled a different way. I don't know. But anyway,
okay.
They used to use it to lubricate equipment.
Okay. So,
I mean, it's an industrial byproduct is really what it is. So.
I don't know. It's very hard for me to take people seriously that, like I keep thinking, you can sit down and have conversations with people that have opposing views than you, but some people you just can't talk to.
You can't have a conversation with someone that is already set in their head and they're too stupid to change their mind. So
Bill says they term that behavior as too stupid to live. Yeah. I agree, Bill.
I mean, I'm all for taking warning labels off stuff and everything. Take the warning labels off the toaster and stuff like that, and just let them have at it. I mean, honestly, if you're stupid enough to get in the bathtub with a toaster, you deserve what's coming for you.
Right.
I mean, so, I don't know. And smoking at the gas pump or talking on your phone at the gas pump, do it. I don't care. I talk on my phone all the time at the gas pump. If I'm going to blow up, it's going to be my day to go, and I'm going in a fireball for all I care. So, I mean, I leave, and I get grief. I never turn my truck off. When I'm getting fuel, I just go ahead and just put it in park and get out and stick the gas nozzle in and fill it up. I'm like, if it's good enough for NASCAR, it's good enough for me.
It's good enough for NASCAR. You're a dork.
Yeah, I mean, what, like,
God.
Whitney used to have an Armada, and that stupid thing, you couldn't open the gas door without turning the thing off. It aggravated the crap out of me. But now she's got another vehicle, and I'm like, can I fill this thing up while it's running? She's like, I don't know. I never do it. So I went ahead and filled it up. It will let you fill it up while it's running. So Toyota's got their stuff in gear. So, but all right. Well,
my news story for today. There's libs out there that are downing gallons of seed oil just to snub their nose at RFK and tell him that they don't care what he thinks about their health.
Yeah, and this is forced. Never argue with a stupid person. Onlookers won't be able to tell which one is the stupid one.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
Well, and it's just like the whole preparedness thing. I will take time and talk to somebody and tell them something a maximum of 2 times. Shelly, if you came to me and you're like, how do I put this fence up? I would come out, show you how to put the fence up and everything, and you could ask me again. I would show you again. But if you come to me the 3rd time and you haven't attempted to do this fence whatsoever, I'm writing you off. I'm like, don't talk to me about the fence ever again because you didn't.
I don't feel like you would be that way with me.
I'm like, well, you're not drinking, you're not drinking oil all the time.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and I've had tons of people. One guy in particular, he's asked me about medical stuff several times. And I'm like, this is what you need, this, and this. He's like, okay. So he texts me again. What do I need again? I'm like, I literally copied the text again. I'm like, this is what you need. He asked me for a third time, and I was like, do not bother me again about this. And then he wanted to come back. What do I need to put in a bug out bag? I'm like, and I flat out told him, I'm like, you didn't take my medical advice, so I'm not giving you bug out bag advice. I was like, YouTube is your friend then. I was like, I do not have time for your crap.
I was going to say, you can Google that for real. I mean, It may not have the list of everything that you could possibly need, but it's a good place to start.
Yeah. It's like Bill said, a battle of wits with an unarmed person. Oh, yeah. And Lawrence, I saw this. Apparently, the Democrats are going to buy everything they need for the next 4 years and not spend money with Trump while Trump's in office to crash the economy.
Well, considering that most of the people who voted for Trump, I don't think that that's a big percentage of people out there.
Well, I mean, the window lickers, what are they going to buy? They're going to buy a mask. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, the mask, all the mask companies will go bankrupt and they won't be able to lick the windows anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Main topic that Shelly hit me, like I said today, and was like, hey, have you seen that the U.S. has essentially told their little puppet, Zelensky, that he can fire these attack-em, I don't know, they're AT something. I call them attack-em missiles. But apparently Biden has said to his little puppets, like, yeah, go ahead and you can shoot these missiles and do whatever you want to. And it's kind of got some people.
I don't know that they're the puppets.
Who?
The Ukraine. I think we might be the puppets.
I think everybody in the deal is getting the shaft, and I know the American taxpayers are getting the shaft.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So we've spent how many billions of dollars over there when we can't even give $750 to the people in Tennessee and North Carolina? Getting the shaft big time.
I mean, I know that somebody's in control. I just doubt that it's us.
Yeah. So I personally, I was talking to somebody about this today and explaining some of this stuff. And they were asking me, and I said, I was kind of explaining some of the stuff that was going on. And essentially, Putin did not want Ukraine to be in NATO. And this is from what I've seen, is Putin doesn't want Ukraine to be in NATO. And he was like, don't do that or we'll have problems. So essentially, he's wanting a blockade, a barrier in between a NATO country and Russia. And they kept saying, yeah, we're going to put, Ukraine's going to join NATO. They're going to join NATO, this and that. My personal opinion, Putin is protecting himself. And then also, you never hear about these biolabs. Remember when this first kicked off that Russia was going in and doing all these biolabs and attacking these that were U.S. biolabs? We hadn't heard anything about that since this kicked off. And then also, I've heard that Ukraine is a huge trafficking spot for, all the trafficking.
It doesn't surprise me at all because Ukraine is, that whole area is a port. I mean, it's a port for Russia, Yeah. And there's a guy that I work with. His name's Mark. And Mark is a history buff. And he used to be in the military, and he's just always, this stuff just fascinates him. And he studies world wars and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always complaining and saying, we don't need to be sending money to Ukraine. I mean, and he agrees with me on the fact that we don't need to be sending money over there when the devastation that happened from Hurricane Helene is not being fixed. So, I mean, he's like, we take care of our own first. But he says, if you look at the whole strategic plan of this and keeping Russia in check, he's like, we can't let them have Ukraine. It's just something that should not happen because I'm probably not going to say this right if he watches this, and he'll come in my office and be like, you didn't say it right. But it's like if they get a hold of Ukraine, then it's going to open them up to be like it was, like when it was the USSR, and them have all of that, we'll be back into a Cold War and all of that kind of stuff happening. I don't know the truth to all that, because I don't study history and war and all that kind of stuff like he does. I don't disagree with him, but I don't think that we should be sending money to Ukraine. Not the amount of money we've been sending to them, especially when the money that we're sending to them is funding freaking retirement plans over there. I mean, if there's any truth to that, we absolutely should not be doing that. Yeah. But I feel like, when Trump got elected, he even said that he got, a phone call from Zelensky congratulating him. And I don't know if Putin called him. I know that world leaders do that kind of thing. I feel like Trump has a presence about him that, deters this kind of thing from happening. There was a bunch of people that backed off. I mean, even Mexico started shoring up its border again, instead of letting people flood across the border and all that kind of thing. But it's almost like is Biden just trying to undermine everything to the point that it's just going to be this craptastic shit show before he takes over? What is happening?
Well, what I was getting at with Putin and everything, with what he's doing, honestly, and it's going to piss people off, but I honestly think Putin's the good guy in this. I mean, if you're going to,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you really look at it, Russia is a Christian country and a Christian nation. It's Orthodox Christians or something like that. It's not a bunch of Hindu or anything like that. But the United States was founded on Christian values. I don't see what the problem is. I don't understand why us and Russia can't get along, other than the media and all these people just wanting war all the time.
Didn't it seem like we kind of got along when Trump was in office before, though? Like they kind of had a mutual respect for each other?
Yeah. I mean, I think... Yeah, well, he's saying that the planes have been moved to Doomsday planes been moved to Siberia.
Yeah, so, I'm not sure what that means, though. I mean, if you could elaborate on what that is, I don't know what that means.
They're Doomsday. I think they're Doomsday planes that I know the United States used to have. Like, I think it's B-52s there were so many. This was during the Cold War. There were so many flying in the air. 24 every minute of the day there were Doomsday planes and I think they were B-52s that were in the air just in case nuclear war popped off, that they could go ahead and have a strike. Like if we got struck first, those planes were in the air already with nuclear weapons where they could go bomb Russia. It's kind of a fail-safe deal. I guess that's the same Doomsday planes that Russia has. So they might have just moved them to Siberia, to where I don't guess they're going to nuke them in Siberia or something like that. They're kind of tucked away out of the...
For use later.
Out of the hot zone. So
Bill says, just remember that Biden is a puppet to the highest bidder. Yeah, I agree.
10% for the big guy. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a whole deal. I honestly think that the Democrats and whoever's running Biden, they want to give Trump the biggest, stinkiest, hottest pile of dog shit for him to step into when he comes into office. So, I mean, that's what it is. And we're getting fancy because I've got a laptop down here.
Look, Jason's got a laptop. Woo.
Yeah. I made so much money off this old mean lady one day doing a job that I was like, I'm buying a $5 million laptop. So I'm kidding. But now all this is going to come from RT, which is whatever, Russian Times. I mean, it's propaganda arm for the Russians. But honestly, I believe some of this more than I believe the mainstream media here. There's this is a news headline. The West wants to escalate conflict. So Kiev could not have struck Russia without attack of missiles, without Washington's participation. And this is what is he? He's a Russian foreign minister, and I don't speak Russian, and I don't pronounce real good. So the Russian foreign minister. But essentially, he's saying without American help, these attack of missiles wouldn't be able to be fired off. I could read all this. We'll put some links in there, but let me see what else we've got. This is one. The news headline is Biden is committing unconstitutional act of war, U.S. lawmakers. And this President Joe Biden has violated the U.S. Constitution and sought to be impeached for permitting Ukraine to fire American-supplied long-range missiles into Russia. Our old boy Thomas Massie right here in Kentucky, that's what he said. So they're essentially, Thomas Massie is saying he violated the U.S. Constitution by permitting them to fire rockets into Russia. First off, I think he committed unconstitutional acts by even giving Ukraine anything, personally, in my opinion.
So what, okay, if you know or anybody out there knows, why does Ukraine have to have our permission to fire those rockets? If we gave them to them, why do they have to have permission from us to fire them? And was that part of the giving part of it?
I don't 100% know. Honestly, I don't know why they have to have. It's kind of like saying, "Hey, we're going to give you this thing, but we don't give you permission right now to use it." Kind of thing. They don't. They're not condoning the use of it, but now they're saying, "Hey, it's okay to do that." But it says, let me see. All right. And this is another article. Kiev has permission to launch long-range strikes. With several NATO members have given green light, Ukraine now wants the entire U.S.-led military bloc to follow suit.
So does that mean he wants us to bomb Russia?
I don't know. It said Zelensky has claimed that several Western countries have given Kiev permission to use their long-range missiles against internationally recognized Russian territory. The New York Times reported on Sunday that Biden had lifted some restrictions on the use of U.S.-provided ATACMS missiles. The White House has neither confirmed nor denied the New York Times article, which cited anonymous officials. And I know Germany has not decided yet, has not said that they think it's okay. And this says at least 6 long-range ATACMS missiles were fired into Russians, some region overnight. Moscow's defense ministry reported on Tuesday 5 of them were shot down, while debris from one reportedly caused a localized fire at a military base, causing no property damage. And this has been Putin's red line saying if you're going to fire, and I'll get to that, I've got the article on it, but essentially this was his red line. If they were going to fire long-range missiles into Russian territory, that they were going to open up the nuclear option, which that is a little scary to me, in my opinion. And this is still this same article. It said Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly warned that long-range strikes with Western weapons would change the nature of the Russian-Ukraine conflict, making it a direct confrontation between NATO and Moscow. And then also on Tuesday, Russia officially updated its nuclear deterrent doctrine to authorize an atomic response to conventional strikes from countries backed by nuclear powers. This has been widely interpreted as applying the Ukraine strikes with weapons supplied by US, UK, and France. And then trying to find. They updated, and I'm trying to find it. They updated their nuclear their nuclear doctrine. Yes. And here's Russia's new nuclear, the headline of this, Russia's new nuclear doctrine, key points. Putin has approved changes to the basic principles of state policy of the Russian Federation on nuclear deterrent. And we will get, this is the state policy of nuclear deterrence is defensive by nature. It's aimed at maintaining nuclear forces potential at the level sufficient of nuclear deterrence and guarantees protection of national sovereignty and territorial integrity of the state. That's one thing. The Russian Federation considers nuclear weapons as a means of deterrence, their use being an extreme and compelled measure. It says the Russian Federation ensures nuclear deterrence towards a potential adversary, which is understood to mean any individual states or military coalitions which sees the Russian Federation as a potential adversary and possesses nuclear arms or other weapons of mass destruction. Any aggression of a single state from a military coalition against the Russian Federation or its allies, any aggression against the Russian Federation or its allies of any non-nuclear state with participation or support of a nuclear state will be regarded as a joint attack. And of course, this is always a disclaimer on anything. The Russian Federation reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in response to the use of nuclear weapons, arms, or other weapons. And the decision to use nuclear weapons is taken by the president of the Russian Federation. So essentially, they kind of updated everything.
Right.
And essentially,
they're just kind of saying, this is what we're going to do if you do this.
Yeah, they pretty much outlined what they would use nuclear weapons for. And they're saying, essentially what they're saying is if you're supplying weapons of mass destruction and stuff like that to another country and you're a nuclear power, we're going to see that as a threat to us and we're going to use nuclear weapons against you. Not only against Ukraine, but against anybody that gave Ukraine stuff. It's kind of that whole thing, like we just had that mass shooting a while back where they found the kid's dad guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. You know, the state was like, yeah, the dad didn't kill the kids, but he
armed the kid.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of participated and let the kid get the gun. So that's kind of what they're saying. But then, another headline that I saw, it says NATO members say Russia has a right to self-defense. And this is the Turkish president said this: the West should pay attention to Russians' updated nuclear doctrine, which reflects Moscow's right and ability to defend itself from threats. This is the Turkish president saying this. So essentially, the Turkish president has said, hey, Russia has a right to defend itself, which I think it has a right to defend itself. I don't know if you could, I mean, once you throw a nuke out, that's kind of like taking the genie out of the bottle. You can't just put it back.
Right.
And of course it's a tactical nuke is what it is. So it's not like a Hiroshima or a Nagasaki kind of thing, but it's still.
Well, these aren't nukes, right? These missiles that they shot.
No, these aren't. No, these are just a long-range missile that the U.S. has provided. Russia is talking about using nuclear weapons. And go ahead, let me.
This article that I found, because I just punched in, why did they need our permission to do this? It says that the U.S. has long opposed the move, with President Joe Biden determined to avoid any escalation that he felt could draw the U.S. and other NATO members into direct conflict with nuclear-armed Russia. The Kremlin warned Monday that the decision adds fuel to the fire. The decision comes in the waning days of Joe Biden's presidency before President-elect Donald Trump, who has said that he would bring about a swift end to the war that many fear could force unpalatable concessions from Kiev. Yeah. And then, so, hold on a minute. One of the guys, let's see, Gleb Volosky. He's an analyst at the CBA Initiative Center, but I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm not sure if he's Ukrainian or not, but it says the decision came far too late. Had it been made at the beginning of the fall, it might have disrupted Russia's counteroffensive in the Kursk region. And if it had been made even earlier, it could have derailed the offensive in the Petrovsk direction. So, I mean, it sounds like, like we've been saying all along, no, we don't want you to do this. We don't want you to do this. But now they're afraid with Trump coming into office that they're going to have to give concessions that they don't want to give because he's somehow going to force peace in that area or force a ceasefire or whatever that is. And so they were just like, okay, let's just bomb them. Let's just do it.
Oh, yeah.
What the crap?
And what I was talking to somebody, like the same person I was talking to about this today, they were like, well, what do you think Trump will do, when and if he gets in office and this is still going on? And yeah, I mean, that with Bill, Russia simply stating that aiding and abetting is a crime against Russia. I mean, the U.S. is doing nothing but aiding Ukraine. There's no other way to slice this. But I was talking to this person.
This is true too, what Lawrence is saying.
Yeah, true. I mean, heck, we went in.
Guns a-blazing, right?
Yeah, and in the name of freedom and everything else, that's the thing. Russia's just trying to protect itself. That's why I say, and people will get pissed, I think Putin's the good guy in this deal. I mean, but I was talking to this person today, and they're like, what do you think is going to happen? What's Trump going to do with this? And the way that I've understood it, the regions that Russia has taken over from Ukraine, those people identified as Russians, and they're kind of happy that Russia, took that over. So I was like, the best thing to do is when Trump gets in, Trump will go in there and be like, hey, we're sitting down at the table. Putin, those places that were Russia that identify as Russians that you took over that area, that's yours. Zelensky, we've given you enough money, so suck it up and get your pacifier and go on. Ceasefire, we're done with this crap. And if anybody starts any other shit, we're going to come in and just whoop everybody's ass on it. And let Orange Man come in and spank everybody, and they all call him daddy. So, I mean, that's what I would like to see. See, Lawrence agrees with me.
Yeah, Lawrence agrees.
And we got Prepared Citizen in here tonight. But that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Everybody that's jumped in the last couple minutes, we're talking about the fact that Ukraine, with our permission, bombed or sent, what are those missiles called? ATACMS missiles, sent 6 of them over to the Kursk region. Huh?
Call them attackums.
Attackums.
Yeah.
But they sent 6 of them over to the Kursk region. And hey, there's Jeff.
See those provinces that Russia took over are pro-Russian. I thought that, right? So, but yeah, we're talking. Yeah, tell everybody that's in here, give us some comments. Tell us what you think about it. And while y'all are doing that, Shelly will go ahead and finish. Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to see.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, we're just on here talking about the Ukraine doing this deal this morning, and the fact that it's really like everything else that we kind of think is important, it's radio silence.
Yeah.
Like there might be one, even on Fox, there's just like one article on there, or when I checked it today, I haven't checked it this afternoon, but there's just not a lot of people talking about this. And this seems like a huge deal to me because just like, was it Bill that was talking about Russia is looking at this as us aiding and abetting, And I feel like if this doesn't get reined in, we're going to be drawn into something that we don't want to be drawn into.
Well, and see, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff, we were talking about that just a little while ago, that we hadn't heard anything about the biolabs since they first invaded and everything. Yep.
Oh, prepared citizen, I totally agree. Like something, it's like the calm before the storm.
Oh yeah,
I never dreamed that the storm could possibly be World War III, for real.
Yeah. Now this reminds me right here. This is the last article I've got pulled up, but this reminds me of some kind of crap that the Dems would pull. The headline is Zelensky rules out election again. And it's Ukraine's constitution and laws do not allow for elections during wartime. The country's leader has reiterated. And it says Zelensky has stated that Ukraine must first achieve a just peace before citizens can go to the polls. The Ukraine leader's presidential term expired in March of this year, but he has canceled elections due to martial law, which he imposed in 2022. And essentially he's saying it's not safe for the people to go to the polls. And said Ukraine needs a just peace, and then Ukrainians will hold fair elections because they were fair last time, because the United States came in and made that a big shit show. We must prioritize the common interest over any personal desires.
So he's doing this so he can stay in charge?
Yeah. I mean, he suspended the elections because the Constitution that they have won't let him do it. It's just, he's saying that they have to have peace before they can have another election.
You know, that's one of the very first things that I looked up this morning when I saw the headlines this morning. I was like, can they suspend, like inauguration or something because of this happening if we go to war between now and January? And what came back was that like never in the history of our country has an election or has, a president not taken office that was elected into that office even during war times. That's never happened.
Yeah. And I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we've been at war since 9/11 pretty much. Yeah. So we've changed power, but it's been more of a regional kind of deal. It's not been a world war. This article also says in September, 7 cabinet ministers and several other officials were removed from their positions. And it says these people, so essentially it seems like he's kind of purging government officials that don't
agree with him.
Yeah, that don't see eye to eye with him. And there was also an article that I saw that was, talking about how the opinion of some of these people, they took a poll and most of the Ukrainians, the headline of this, most Ukrainians now want quick end to the war. And this is a poll. It says the number of respondents seeking urgent peace talks has almost doubled since last year, according to a Gallup poll. The majority of Ukrainians now favor a rapid end to the ongoing conflict with Russia through peace negotiations, according to a recent survey conducted by Gallup. It's funny, they can do a Gallup poll in a war-torn region, but they can't go out to the polls and vote.
Right.
That makes total sense. And
basically, is he turning into like a little dictator over there that we're funding?
Pretty much. And it says,
is that what it sounds like to you?
Yeah. And this says in the latest report on Tuesday, the American pollster reported that 52% of respondents believe Kiev should resume peace talks to end the war as soon as possible. This marks a substantial rise from 27% in 2023 and just 22% in 2022. So it's over doubled from 2022.
Forrest said if Trump doesn't take office, that would start something unpleasant for sure. Absolutely it would.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's tons of different articles talking about this. I didn't pull anything from my favorite person, Alex Jones, because I didn't feel like looking at InfoWars today. But yeah, I mean,
it's exhausting sometimes.
Yeah. Now, this is another article. It says EU, the European Union, must prepare for sending troops to Ukraine. Bloc members should be ready if any Moscow-Kiev peace deal is brokered by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. And it says EU member states should be ready to send military forces to Ukraine if U.S. President-elect Donald Trump brokers a peace deal between Kiev and Moscow. And that's the Estonian foreign minister, Magis, I don't know, the MAGA guy or maggot guy, I don't know. Why do these people have such hard names? Why can't somebody have a name like
Because
Jason?
they live in another country, dude. They speak a different language than us.
Well, we'll just call him Bill.
Okay, let's call him Bill.
All right. In an interview with Financial Times on Tuesday, the foreign minister of Estonia insisted that NATO membership should provide the best security guarantee for Kiev. Should Trump oppose it, the EU would have to step in and deploy troops once the fighting is over. So essentially, he's saying that if Trump brokers a deal between Ukraine and Russia, that the EU, the European Union, should deploy troops when the fighting is over as a security guarantee. So essentially, the EU wants to send the European sons and daughters in there as cannon fodder to make sure nothing happens. It's a big pile of dog shit is what it is, honestly.
Yeah.
But
I just saw a headline that some people had died, but now I can't find it.
I'm not sure that the EU wants to continue fighting. In this article, it says as a security guarantee for Kiev. I guess they're wanting to act like the UN, like the blue hats, and come in there and just for security kind of stuff, just as a deterrent for Russia to come in. But all that's going to do, the European Union, most of those guys are in NATO, and that's the big thing that Putin's pissed off about is he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, but then you've gotten actual NATO forces on the ground. That's just, you've got a peace deal, and then the EU is like, hey, we need to send our troops in there, which are part of NATO, just to piss Putin off again.
Right.
So, I mean, it makes no sense. I have to ask because I'm uncertain. If something happens to Trump, is Vance up to the task of following through? I don't know.
If something happened, I don't know. If something happened to Trump before, he's inaugurated, would they allow Vance to take that position since he wasn't, he was elected as VP, but he wasn't elected into the president.
He would still, if something happened to Trump, Vance would take the
He would take it? That would be his? Okay.
Because it should be, and this is what I'm assuming, but you know what you do when you assume.
Yeah.
I would assume that Vance would go ahead and be president-elect, and then he would find a vice president to fill the vice president role. Just like if something happened after Trump was inaugurated, if something happened then, he just steps right in.
Right.
But I don't know. I would hope that Trump pick somebody that would, pick up and fight his battle for him if something ever happened to him. I don't see why Trump would not do that. So, it's not like, oh, we just grabbed some guy at the 7-Eleven. You look nice. You look nice in the suit and you were in the Army. Let's just grab you and see what happened.
Honestly, though, me personally, I don't think that Vance would have a problem taking it over. I mean, I feel better about Vance as the VP than I did when Pence was the VP. And I liked Pence when all of that first started, but I don't know. Vance just has more of a strength about him, I guess. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, Jeff. Definitely.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Amen, brother.
Unless you're a canola oil drinker.
Right.
If you're chugging canola oil, you're like, and then, I mean, Lawrence says Russia and America were friends until Hillary became Secretary of State. I mean, that's the whole MO, the whole warmongers and everything else. They just continue to drive wedges in between countries when there's no need to drive a wedge in between it. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why there's so much war other than the warmongers want to make big money on it. You know, the military industrial complex, it's all about, you know, let's have as much bloodshed as we can to make some more money.
Right.
You find any other good stuff?
No.
I wish I could play TikToks on here. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Here's another news article. Audit by Trump would be nightmare for Zelensky. It's difficult to imagine the depths of corruption in Ukraine regarding Western aid, Russian envoy to the UN said. A possible financial review under the administration of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump must be a cause of alarm for Ukraine leader Zelensky. So, I mean, I think Zelensky is worried about when Trump gets in, they're going to run an audit. So, Jensen Family Homestead, I have not seen where Finland's provoking Russia. I hadn't seen anything about that. Let me see if I can find. What's Finland? Tell us what Finland's been doing. I thought they were kind of like not doing much.
So, do you ever go to the Drudge Report?
Sometimes.
So, the headlines on the Drudge Report right now, it says Vlad warns nuclear Ukraine battle 100th day. Biden approves landmines. Moscow directly threatens USA. There's a plan to kill Zelensky, and Germany preps for World War III. That's the headlines on the Drudge Report.
Wow.
I'm just like, doggone. Okay.
They're extending their control out farther into the Bay of Finland to cut off Russian access to the open ocean. I have not seen that. I will take a look at that. I don't understand why Finland would be provoking Russia. I don't know. Some people get a burr underneath their saddle and just I guess they want to be a part of something, and I don't understand.
Finland always kind of stayed out of stuff.
Well, I don't know. Here's another article. U.S. tells Ukraine to conscript more troops. A shortage of American weapons is not the problem, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has argued. They're saying Ukraine should ramp up military mobilization and send more troops to fight Russia. U.S. National Secretary Advisor Jake Sullivan has suggested in a PBS News on Monday. Mm-hmm. I have seen a marked difference since we have provided tanks to Ukraine in terms of the battlefield. Similarly, on F-16s, we have seen a marked difference, is what he said is on that. It's about manpower, and Ukraine needs to do more, in our view, to firm up its lines in terms of the number of forces it has on the front lines, he said. We're in the straightest line between Ukraine performance and inputs. It's on mobilization and manpower. So essentially, he's saying they need to conscript more people. So the U.S. just keeps poking and poking and poking. So
It says Germany's World War III preparation plans have been revealed in a 1,000-page secret document dubbed Operation Dutchland.
We got a question on here.
Okay. No, Bill, I have not opened my Backmaster yet. Doggone it.
Thanks, Bill. Bill, thanks for asking her since I didn't have to.
Good Lord.
But what did Jeff say? Read that for us, Shelley.
From Reuters, Helsinki, October 23rd, Finland is experiencing suspicious acts of sabotage and disruption and believes Russia is engaged in broad-ranging influence operations against it and other European countries, Finland's Minister of Interior Lulu Rand said.
And it might have something to do with those undersea cables that got cut the other day. Because some undersea cables...
Are you talking about what happened? That was like a few years ago. Were you talking about...
No, these were... let me see.
There was a pipeline that got cut a few years ago, right? That cut off power going to Germany.
Yeah, no, that was the gas line. That was the gas line that the U.S. blew up, and they won't say that they did.
Right.
Let me see. Undersea cables. There were some undersea cables that were cut the other day. Yeah, this was in the Baltic Sea. Sabotage expected after 2 Baltic Sea cables were cut. Yeah, and the 4 countries affected by the cuts were Finland, Germany, Lithuania, and Sweden. So that might be, yeah, and here we are. That might be why Finland is playing around with Russia, because, I mean, who knows? Russia might have cut those cables, or the U.S. could have cut the cables and blamed it on Russia, kind of like the pipeline that got blown up or whatever it was a while back.
So right now, according to this article, right now, Germany's putting together 800,000 troops. They're doing military protection for key buildings. They're stockpiling for shortages. They're enlisting truck drivers, and they have 200,000 NATO vehicles.
Well, I was on Marketplace today, and I bought a bomb shelter for me and the family. I found some on Marketplace. I didn't tell anybody yet. But we've got bomb shelters coming. I'm probably going to go pick them up tomorrow. They're the school desks that we used to have. I got a smoking deal. I bought.
Those are the only ones that work. Just FYI.
There was a guy on Marketplace that had these. They're like $10 a piece, and he had like 10 of them. I'm like, dude, $100. I was like, I've got 10 bomb shelters. So we're going to pick them up tomorrow. I mean,
there you go.
We're probably going to paint them camouflage so nobody sees them when we put them in the back field and get under it. So,
hey, Rosie's in the house. Hey, Rosie.
So we've got their bomb shelters set and ready to go.
Yep. That's the only way that we can go into a Cold War is having desks for bomb shelters.
Well, I would much rather have a Cold War than a hot war.
Right.
So, but guys, that's kind of what we found. We wanted to just do a live tonight. We don't do a whole lot of lives for the podcast, but I'm glad for everybody being in here. If you got anything else, drop it in the comments. I have scrounged about everything. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, we could go into all kinds of stuff. Oh, I did see something that Trudeau, that limp wrist dude in Canada, he said that they were not going to be taking, they were going to cut down on the number of migrants they were taking next year. So that was just something I saw.
Did you just say that Canada's closing its border?
Yes. Well, they were going to.
Imagine that. I thought he was a libtard. I thought he was all about, like, you know, all of that stuff.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I could find it. Yeah, but Trudeau said they were going to take less immigrants next year, or migrants or something. I was trying to find that.
Here's an article that came out early this morning. It says Russia threatens U.S. with nuclear war by Christmas in a chilling World War III warning.
Wow, that'll really light up your Christmas tree and make it glow.
Right.
We're going to be running around green and everything else. And then see, now here's another news article that I see. Germany issues threat to China. The German foreign minister has warned Beijing of consequences for allegedly supporting Moscow. So, I mean, that's the whole thing.
China seems like a really big bear to poke. I mean, not that, I mean, I'm for Germany, I guess, is what I'm saying. It's just, can Germany take on China?
The Germans have lost the last 2 world wars. They kind of suck at fighting. So, I mean,
it's kind of like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Like, can you really do that?
Well, China's not going to pull a punch. They're going to knock him out. But
right,
I don't know. But you've got the Russians and the Chicoms and the North Koreans are all getting buddy. And apparently there's North Koreans coming over and fighting with Russia now. And I did see something. I do not know if this is true or not, but I laughed about it. Like in North Korea, like the internet's locked down. You can only get certain things with the internet there.
Well, but I mean, it's the same way as China. It's like that in China too.
But apparently all these North Korean soldiers have went to Russia, and the internet is not
full blown.
Yeah, full blown. And all these North Korean soldiers are hooked on porn now. Swear that's what I saw on TikTok. I don't know if it's true or not. So maybe that's where they came up with the blown up toys.
Oh my God.
So, but guys,
Lord.
Bottom line, stuff is crazy. We can't control what's going on in Russia, Ukraine. We can't control what's going on in DC, but you can control what's going on your property, in your local area. You can have some influence in that. You can control how much food you've got in your pantry. You can control how much backup power you've got in your house. You can control how many guns you've got in your house, your security. That stuff is what you can control. I look at this stuff, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I pay more attention to the new zoning stuff that's coming around in my area and the police reports in my area, as opposed to what Zelensky and Putin and all these guys are doing, because the local stuff. And damn, I missed a meeting. I had a meeting tonight I was supposed to go to. So, but it wasn't going to do any good. But I look at more of the local stuff of what's going on. That's stuff that you can control and stuff that you can have a say in most of the time. So do that. Go out tomorrow. Don't run out in fear with your hair on fire, and don't run into Walmart with your hair on fire going, World War III is coming right now. I got to get the beans and the rice, because you're going to look like an idiot. But if you need more food, go buy some more food.
Go get some more food.
Yeah. Just don't go running in there all crazy. I mean, I hope everybody here is already stocked up and kind of on the crazy train with all of us and everything. Right. But do worry about the stuff that you can control right now, and that you have more say in the local stuff. Control your environment and go out and get prepared more than you are now. I mean, I'm stepping up my energy game is what I'm going to start stepping up on more, because I saw those people out there that aren't going to have power for months and months. So right there.
Yep. There you go. That's what you need.
And you were more well off taking that time and making jerky than you were screwing around on the computer looking at if they're shooting attackums or whatever, and doing that kind of stuff. Spend time with your family. Get your preps in gear and stuff like that. And the meeting I missed tonight out here on 31W, they're widening 31W, and they want to take, and this is not going to make sense to a lot of people, but they're widening it. There's an intersection at the road, they want to put a roundabout. Warren County has got where they want to do roundabouts now for everything. They're wanting to put, this road is a straight road, 2-lane highway. They're going to put it into essentially a 3-lane. They're going to have a turning lane in the middle.
It's not even busy, is it?
It's
like,
pretty
is it out there by the school? Is that where they're wanting that intersection there by the school?
No, on down past Cheney's.
Okay. Past Cheney's? Does it get busy out there?
Well, they're taking it all the way to the county line, to Simpson County line. But they want to put in one of the intersections, this is 55 miles an hour road. They want to put a freaking roundabout in there. And I'm like, that's the stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So let's see what Jeff said. I'm a old Cold War warrior in this situation. Yeah.
I'm going to do now what I did 40 years ago when the saber rattling started. Smoke a cigar. You go, Jeff.
I might have to smoke a cigar too.
And hey, I've got my tickets to the Heartland Self-Reliance Conference. If you all don't have your tickets, you need to get them. Jeff, can you put the website in the thing where they can find, is it heartlandselfrelianceconference.com? Is that the website? So get your tickets, go to the Heartland Self-Reliance Festival. I believe it's the first weekend in May. I will be there. I don't know if Jason's going to be there or not, but Randy and I will be there. And even if World War III starts, I'm going to be at the Heartland Self-Reliance Conference in May.
World War III will be in full swing.
By May.
Rosie is making homemade Kit Kats.
Oh, that sounds good.
That sounds super good. Yeah.
There's the website for the Heartland Self-Reliance Conference. Go get your tickets. It's going to be a good time.
Shelly, you should talk Jeff into letting you speak.
What am I going to speak about?
I don't know. Your straight frog soap.
I don't have any straight frog soap.
You need to make some.
All right, you guys. I hope you all have a fantastic week. Like Jason said, don't get torqued up about this. Go out and do something to protect your family, to prep for this every day. Just do something, whether it's putting up food, maybe you're hunting, whatever. He said, I want you to speak. What do you want me to speak about? Send me an email, Jeff.
All right. Guys, we appreciate y'all. I tell you what, if y'all like us doing the live streams, let us know, and we'll do more live streams if that's what y'all like. I don't mind doing them a bit. Let us know. Put a comment down here. The more participation we get, the more live streams we'll do. It's not fun just sitting here talking where you only got 1 or 2 people, but the more comments we get, the better we will. The more we'll talk about and the more we'll do live streams. But guys, we appreciate it. And it is time to go eat dinner, and we will see y'all next week.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.